Now, managing your organization's legal needs has become much more challenging in today's landscape. With mounting threats of defamation, the growing problem of fraud, and litigation issues looming, what are the solutions that are available to you to be better prepared? How can you help harness the latest technologies and use them in your current leadership role? Our panelists, Mr. Alan Hacker, Trustee, Developer, and Consultant at ASC Missions Group, Elizabeth Yang, CEO and founder of Yang Law Offices, excuse me, Paul Crisculio, Partner and General Counsel at Calgary Law PC, Kevin Fournier, Director of Intellectual Property Law and Patent Attorney at Kevin J. Fournier Property Legal Services, and Mr. Jake Mellor, CEO at Alpha Market Capital. Now, in this next session, they will share their thoughts on general counsel leadership and strategy in 2023 and legal applications and modern solutions. Please join me in welcoming the session's moderator and the panelists. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Alan Hacker. I'll be the moderator. We're going to freeform it a little bit. We're a short one, so that's why we lost a chair just now. I'm going to give each panelist a couple minutes to talk about what they're doing. We're running behind, so we're going to run a compressed show and try to get done on time, because there's a speaker who follows us, and then the room is needed at noon for another function. All right? Introduce yourself, please, and tell us what you do.
Okay, I'm Kevin Fournier. I'm a director of the small intellectual property, that's patent and trademark and copyrights and trade secrets law firm called Kevin J. Fournier Intellectual Property Legal Services Limited, based in Bournemouth in the United Kingdom. And I'm basically helping high-tech companies to manage and protect their IP rights, as well as helping them with investors, asking questions about whether they're prepared to conduct their business with respect to the IP rights of others, as well as protecting their own IP rights, and then filing patents both in the US, where I'm qualified because I'm from the US originally, and also in the European Patent Office and also in the United Kingdom Patent Office. So I'm kind of uniquely placed to help clients, tech companies, work in both jurisdictions, which is quite rare, and there's not many people that do that, because it's either one or the other usually, because the laws are quite different. But I've qualified in both jurisdictions. So yeah, that's what I do, and I'm happy to be here. And yeah, over.
Thank you, Paul. Elizabeth?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Elizabeth Yang. I own and operate a law practice in Southern California. We have 4 offices in Los Angeles, Orange County, Monterey Park, and Beverly Hills. And we have a team of 30 people specializing in a wide variety of different areas. So like Kevin, I actually started off in intellectual property as well. My undergrad was electrical engineering and computer science.
Like mine?
Yeah, so same background from UC Berkeley. And I did patent and trademarks when I first became an attorney. And I also practiced business law. But I expanded into family law and estate planning after going through my own personal divorce. And so in the last few years, family law has taken off because of the pandemic.
Yep.
And so now I would say about 75% of our practice is family law.
Wow.
And intellectual property has slowly diminished.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have a wide variety of different areas overlapping with yours.
Sounds good. Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Jake?
Very good. I don't know, is my mic turned on?
Yes.
Very nice. Okay, thank you. Yes, I'm the black sheep of the group. I'm the one that's not an attorney, but I work oftentimes with attorneys and definitely appreciate the value and the necessity of what attorneys bring to us. At Alpha Market Capital, we help with private equity and venture capital to help businesses expand and to grow. Oftentimes, as a company or a group is expanding operations, they're taking things to the next level. They need the general counsel. They need the business support. They need to patent that widget that is getting them the additional revenue that's helping them and causing them the growth pains, right? And we have to surround ourselves especially in 2023, with everything that we have planned for growth and for progress and for expansion, we have to surround ourselves with people who can help us get there successfully. Some of the saddest stories that I can tell are from clients who got caught up with the emotion of the success, of the sales, of the marketing, of the positioning, the brand, the TV show, the fame, and left everything unbuttoned. Didn't have beneficiaries properly designated, didn't have structuring of their entities properly put together. They went to sell their business, and then the investors didn't want to buy their business because, their cap table was all confusing. And a lot of this requires what I would call an ounce of prevention, which equates to a pound of cure. Because if you have to take that pound of cure after the fact, it's a lot more painful. And so I'm very happy to be here with these attorneys and their services. And I'm excited to talk today about 2023 and how the general counsel should play a very important and pivotal role in what we have going forward for all business owners and families in what they hope to achieve here this coming year.
Great. Thanks, Kevin. Great panel we got here. A little bit about me. I'm also not an attorney. It's a very well-kept secret. And I'm here to pursue two functions. ASC Missions Group is a group of missions to different communities across the social and work spectrum. I'm a kind of a let's pull a bunch of people together and make the world a better place kind of guy. So one of our missions is lawfulgov.org, and not much I need to say about that except that we take delight in enforcing the Constitution onto government. But since we're not lawyers, what we do is we develop the case, and then we recruit a legal firm or an activist group, depending on if there is one, for that niche of the Constitution, whether it's federal or state, and we hand it off to them, and we remain on as advisors. The other area that I do kind of crosses over into health and business. Articulate Management is my management firm. We've been doing that since late 80s. And in the process, I came to specialize with business owners who needed to do two things. They needed to redo their marketing-oriented mission statement to goals-oriented, at least internally. It makes a big difference when you're hiring, when you can't tell your people what your specific goals are. You hire people who are not in alignment with them, and then you have a problem. So we were solving that in Silicon Valley, where things come together quickly, and people are in a hurry to, as he said, get ahead of themselves. Then the other focus, which is more focused on law, is a general practice thing, but we developed what we called at the time a blockbusting technique to help business owners sort out their thinking so that they could better articulate what they're trying to do and get rid of that. Those of you who are in marketing know about Zig Ziglar. He called it stinking thinking. The thoughts you have that get in your way, the apprehensions you have that hold you back, we handle that. We call it subliminal self-sabotage, and we have a specific technique, a one-week program that takes care of that. It's a bold claim, but it works. We've been doing it for 20 years. So I guess I'm the other black sheep because I'm more of a generalist, as is Kevin. And so now that each of you has heard the other, we'll start with you. Do you have a question for any of us?
I have a question for the patent attorney, for Kevin.
Oh,
specifically. Now,
Okay.
Liz, feel free
Thank
to chime in.
We agreed ahead of time to kind of freeform this. So.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
for doing
Put you
that.
on the spot.
Well, I'm just curious. Filing patents, my understanding is that the process has changed a little bit. Getting something processed, getting it in, there used to be a review with an approval.
Yeah.
But now they're leaving it subject to somebody else refuting it more than ever before, rather than having an approval process. Can you maybe explain a little bit better the process that somebody goes through from application to patent pending?
Yeah, okay. So the first thing that happens, well, thank you very much for the question. Appreciate it. The first thing that happens is an inventor comes up with his technical idea, the problem that's solved, because patents are all about solving technical problems. Some people think that they may have like some kind of administrative or business problem that they might have, like the Airbnb, example that we heard earlier. That would be like a business method kind of thing. It may be difficult these days to patent it. Years ago, before 2011, there was a Supreme Court case called Alice that changed everything in the U.S. Basically, it used to be able to patent any business method, any administrative idea. It didn't have to be technology or material for engineers or scientists or tech people. You could invent something that was of interest to business people, like hub and spoke investment strategies and that kind of thing were patentable. In 1999 to 2000, there was a famous case called State Street Bank that they patented an investment strategy, which today would not be patentable at all. So the laws changed completely, and the Supreme Court, one Supreme Court case changed the whole thing. And now a technical person writes up an article explaining the drawings, explaining the flow charts, the flow of the technical information that goes between the blocks of your invention, how it works basically, how the technical problem is solved, and then passes it on to a patent attorney like myself to review it and see if it's sufficient, if it has enough information in it to be the subject of a patent that would pass the enablement laws, they call it, which is enough detail so that somebody could build it. So that's the key thing. Do you put enough detail in the patent so that somebody can build it, or is there something important that's missing that you didn't disclose? Because if there is, then your patent will fail because you didn't disclose enough. The secret stuff that you didn't put in the patent that people need in order to make the invention, and you didn't put it in. So your patent will fail.
That somebody else could duplicate it, and that's why you're laying out the recipe or the process, so to speak, so that you're protecting that recipe.
Yeah, exactly. So then once that's written up and given to the patent attorney then would communicate with the client to say, this is what I think you've invented, and in broad terms, this is claim one of the patent, so to speak. That's what we call the claims of the patent is the broadest statement of the invention that will get over what's been done before and not be obvious over what's been done before. Then the patent attorney would say, this is what I think you've invented. Do you agree? And then if you say, there's actually a feature in there that is optional, we don't actually need that, you can still have the invention without that feature, then I would take that out and say, okay, because we want to only have in our claim the essential elements. And then we would file that patent application eventually once it's agreed with the inventor, because the inventor has to swear with a written declaration to the patent office that they believe that they are the first and true inventor of this thing under penalty of perjury. So you have to believe that you actually invented what it is that is in the claim. So once you're happy that is what you've invented, then you sign the statement, and then we file the patent application in the patent office. And it can be very cheap when you're a small entity. If you have less than 500 employees, the fees are cut in half. And so yeah, it's not a lot. Probably less than $1,000 just to file it and to get it searched and to get it examined by the patent office.
So just to make this real for the audience, I just barely went through this. And it's not always something that is scientific in nature. It's not always something that is new technology, so to speak. Sometimes it's something very common sense or basic. I mean, we have a company in Texas that does the electrical components for data centers and for Bitcoin miners and for people like that.
Oh, okay.
And we recently patented a rack, a shelf.
Yep.
That solved a problem, or it was a solution to something that everybody faces.
Yeah.
And so it was distinct, it was different, it was nuanced. Nobody else had patented it.
Yeah.
And we have this customizable, to an extent, shelf that can be built on site rather than shipped and delivered by a forklift because they're huge and heavy, and
Yeah.
and then you can plug and play your servers or your miners or whatever just right there, and it has all the infrastructure necessary to do that. So a shelf.
Sounds good. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
But
Yeah.
we solved a problem, we provided a solution, and we are protecting ourselves
Yeah.
in 2023 from, all the hard work, effort, and design and engineering that we put into that,
Yeah.
from somebody else just taking it and maybe because they have better marketing, whatever, selling more of it than us.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, it sounds like it's definitely a patentable, idea. The way you've described it. I mean, there's no question that it's not the right subject matter for a patent. Like it's not an administrative idea. It's not a business method. You've actually changed something technically in coming up with it. With the way the rack is set out, maybe it connects better. It saves power. Maybe the wiring can be reduced. Maybe
The biggest point is that all the other racks are all solid.
Yeah.
And fabricated somewhere else and delivered in one big giant piece.
Yeah.
And this one is customizable to an extent, and it can be assembled on site rather than it can be delivered in a small heavy box instead of a really big crate.
Yeah.
So it just facilitates, especially when people do like trade shows and different things.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It just makes it
Sorry,
very easy.
we're going to run out of time, and I have a question for
Well,
Elizabeth.
I was going to add on to what they were talking about patents. From my patent clients, one common question I get asked is, do I need to build a prototype before getting a patent done? And the answer is actually no. There are patents out there for time machines, for example.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, for there's a watch, like a life expectancy watch. There's actually a patent for a watch that tells you the day you're gonna die.
Yeah.
So there are patents out there for things that don't exist and are not manufactured, they're not on the market. As long as you can just describe what it does, you don't have to build it. You
That's
can
right.
just file a patent for it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. My question for you, because you have several offices and you're the founder and CEO, so you're perfect for the panel topic. Going forward, what do you think is the most important leadership quality you need to bring to your organization?
Well, I think leadership qualities, one of the most important ones is being adaptable. In the last few years, that's definitely been brought to the forefront. Being able to adapt with different things that come up in our economy, in our society that we never could have
Like
been
COVID.
trained in school.
Yeah.
COVID came, and when the courts closed for several months, we all had to go and work remotely. And now so many things have happened in the legal system. There's trials that can be done fully virtually on the computer. We're now trained to speak to judges on Zoom instead of in court. And there's been so many moving parts. And I think as technology progresses and time progresses, there's going to be a lot more changes in the legal industry. And the last few years, we've just been changing, adapting to the legal world.
In line with all of those changes and adaptions, I'm curious from your point of view, what would be the 2023 pitfalls to avoid that a lot of people are missing or letting slip through the cracks, or the most commonly forgotten legal issues that people are not prepared for?
Legal issues, there's a lot, but as a business owner, we're dealing with a lot of things like, let's say, people in our firm. So right now there's like a millennial mindset where people don't want to work as hard as previous generations. So how do you manage that? How do you manage the people that are working multiple jobs, like going on social media and doing their thing and not fully committing in their firm? And it's, hiring has been a big issue for a lot of business owners as well. So dealing with that and being able to adapt with millennials, with politics, with technology. Like right now, Clio is a big technology that law firms are using, but there's a lot of different other CRMs out there. So picking the right CRM, seeing which ones are going to be improving. Clio has been improving. We're very happy with Clio, but there's a lot of other technologies that are not keeping up and they're falling behind. Another area is also choosing the area of law too. Like your focus mainly in IP.
Yeah.
So IP, there's always a need for it. But in the last few years, family law, estate planning went up. But in the next year, as the economy is we're in a recession right now. Immigration is going back up. In the last few years, immigration was down during the Trump administration, but now we're seeing a lot of calls coming in for immigration. So as a business owner, should we adapt and transition and add immigration as a practice? There's a lot of different questions to consider.
So I appreciate that.
All right,
Yeah.
I'd like to thank the panel. I'm going to steal the last 2 minutes, and we're going to end a little early to help the thing get back on schedule because we went long earlier. I'm going to be at my table out there, so I don't have to spend much time here talking. We can do that if you're interested. Come by and see us at the table. We have a book. I wrote a chapter in. It's a co-op book, meaning it's an anthology of 20 consultants, each volume. It's in 9 volumes. I'm in volume 4, and it's a chapter on subliminal self-sabotage. How that, I think, focuses on management into the future is that for corporate lawyers who are having a problem drawing the same girder in a bridge every month for years with little chance of advancement because nobody's dying to get out of the company, a lot of people are starting to suffer burnout. They've gotten used to working remotely and they don't want to come back to an office. And there are firms that are now competing with HR departments to become job shops for attorneys. So if you own a law firm and you want to make sure that you don't have one of your key people jump shop, you want to send to somebody like me who can help them overcome whatever is nagging at them from within without having to tell anybody else. We're able to guarantee confidentiality, and we've done that. We, in fact, for a while specialized in salvaging key employees. So with that, I'd like to thank the panel. Thank you all for coming. And each of you has your own, you have a very nice full-page ad. I saw that.
A nice what?
Full-page ad.
Full-page ad
Oh.
in the thing. Kevin, you also are speaking somewhere else.
Yeah, I've got a little area in the paper, yeah, in the magazine, yeah.
Yeah, and as a black sheep, you're just kind of all over the place, right?
I don't know. It's just a little mug shot, but
Same as mine, yeah.
Yeah, if you need a wide variety of back page solutions, he's the guy. All right, thank you very much. Oh, I wanted to ask you, can I patent a successful marriage? No?
what recipe do you have? Can somebody else repeat?
I have no idea.
I do have a book on Amazon called Social Marriage.
Okay,
So that is
okay.
the solution.
Oh.
All right, so with that, we're going to shut down. Thank you all for being here. I hope you're having as much fun as we are.
Really good.